So the
Excellent. Yes.
NFL executives, scouts, and coaches every year they rank who they view as the top 10 at basically every major position. Obviously the the wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, all that stuff. They get most of the buzz. But so here the NFL executives and scouts have their top 10. These are
Hmm.
the guys in the biz, right? So at
Yeah.
number one, we've got Jamar Chase, Triple Crown winner after last year. I mean, I mean, how do you not?
No, no, I
But
totally agree. No, but I don't agree with him
personally,
at one. I do
I
not
was
agree
like,
with him at
personally,
one.
I would put JJ at top. I would put Justin Jefferson at
Yeah.
one
That needs
personally.
to be flip flopped.
So, but at the same time, Triple Crown, number one wide receiver last year. Like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we're talking about, and I don't
What
know
have
if
you
this
done for
is
me lately? But
right, and the only reason I think this isn't a what have you done for me lately is because Tyreek Hill is still somehow at number three.
yeah,
So
fair.
that I was like, they need to figure that out. But
Well,
yeah,
like that's the issue I have with this list in general is like I don't know like and this is maybe they don't it's on purpose, but like they did not call out enough in this list of like what is this list supposed to be? Top 10 for like what you think is it's gonna be next this year. Top
right,
10 based on like who like all these things like everything in here just reeks of people just like confusing what they're supposed to be ranking right now.
yeah,
Like these are all great wide receivers to me. Don't get me wrong, but this
yeah,
order and like the way that this shakes out and like how I imagine the question was posed to all the people that were involved in this, it makes no sense to me. Like I don't, there's very few people, and with the exception of like Diggs and maybe Devontae, but even those two are like, on the whole, what have you done for me lately kind of thing. They're kind of trending downward,
oh
but
yeah.
like they,
This has
like,
to be like this year, like who they think. I had to, I guess, last year. They had to have been ranking last year. That's the only way
yeah,
that makes sense. And again, I feel like the whole like Tyreek
okay.
throws the whole list off, but
He does
everyone
throw the
else
list off.
makes sense for last year, right? Nico
Fair.
Collins, for Mike Evans. I mean, Mister Dependable, Mister Consistent
Mike
for sure.
Mike Evans behind Malik Neighbors is freaking wild to me though.
See,
Like
I that doesn't bother me at all. So
it bothers me.
let's go through the list and then
Okay.
we'll each go through what our personal rankings are because I have a feeling we're gonna have some variety in our list here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so at one we've got Jamar Chase, at two Justin Jefferson, three Tyreek Hill. Pause because shenanigans. Anyways, CeeDee
Oh,
Lamb, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, and Garrett Wilson rounding off the list. So I'll let you go first because I want to hear your take. But I've got probably
I
five or
mean,
six that I'm shifting the order around.
to me, I think that's the biggest thing is like I'm basically kind of shifting this order around. I mean, I'm looking at
Yeah.
I'm looking at guys that were left off the list: Diggs, Adams, Metcalf, Waddle, Chris Olave. You mentioned him earlier; he could be on there. Debo kind of fallen off a little bit, and Brandon, like Brandon Ayuk from last year. I feel like he can kind of be on this list. But ultimately, like top 10 wise, I don't hate it. Maybe my homerism is just saying that Malik Neighbors. I know he had one. It's like one good year, and you're gonna put him above Mike Evans,
He's
who is
only been in the league 1 year, and he was
fair point.
nasty.
Fair point.
Nasty.
That is a fair point, but it's all you can also argue the opposite end of that point too,
Because
in
he's
that
not showing it yet.
he's only been in the year one league or been in the,
In the
in the
league
year
1 year.
been in the league 1 year. Have another bourbon, Andy. He's only been in the league for 1 year, so like to me. Again, not like it's just I struggle because every time I go down this list and I'm like, okay, look at it from the perspective of active all time. This list looks a lot different.
Yep.
Look at the list from the perspective of projections for next year. This list looks a lot different. Look at it from the perspective of like what happened last year. This looks pretty close, but I agree with you. The Tyreek Hill thing is a little too high. Yeah, to me, it's just like I have a problem with Malik Neighbors being over Mike Evans in any list at this juncture, just because it's only been 1 year. Um, yeah. I mean, and then really just kind of flip flopping Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I think those are the two most egregious. I think
Mm-hmm.
Wilson can maybe be up on the list a little bit higher to me, but again, that's because I've been following him closely since I drafted him as a rook in my fantasy leagues. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it. It's just there's again I can't hone in on what this list is trying to be, and I think that's the issue I have with it, is I don't like
That's
this
part of the
ranking.
confusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say mine's all over the place. So one, I'm going Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
3 and 4, I'm. It's tough. It's sure as hell not Tyreek Hill. To be honest, I'm Tyreek Hill is not my top 10. Like not after last year and not going forward. So like I said, I
Yeah.
don't know why he's on this list, because if it's
That's
the
fair.
best wide receivers for last year, sure. Best receivers for this year, hell, he may not even be on the field. I mean, based
Dude,
on
I
based on
mean,
his
like,
off the field shenanigans. So
well, true, and like Tua just hucks the ball 80 yards downfield to him every single time, and he catches it. And like
yeah.
granted that like that's what you ask of a wide receiver, but it's like, are you showing any skill other than speed at that point?
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just that's great. Your team's still losing,
Yeah.
so like
Yep.
what
Yeah.
and your quarterback's still getting coloring books for every birthday for the rest of his life. So like
The damage is done.
yeah, exactly. Like I just I agree with you. I don't know what he brings to the table as a wide receiver other than like top tier but not elite tier skills and elite speed, I guess, to
Yeah.
me. So
So my top 10 is Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I flip flop between CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think they both need to be three
okay,
and four.
okay, okay.
I would then say, I mean, you're not gonna like this, but I would say Malik Neighbors next,
Uh-huh. Okay.
just because again, what he did last year was pretty nutty. Then I would go to AJ Brown. Then I would go to probably, if we're going last year, Mike Evans. Well, really,
Mm-hmm.
the last 10
That's where I
years.
feel
The last
that
10
exactly
years.
that's where I feel like Mike Evans deserves like top like 6 or above to me. So,
Yep. Yep. And then I'm going Nico Collins there because,
mhm,
again, I mean, just
mhm.
absolutely balled out. And then I'm throwing some names on the list that were not on there. So I'm going
Yeah.
Brian Thomas, crushed it last
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Crushed it last year. I think Drake London is a dark horse. Not great quarterback play, still produced, and that's in a very
Cool.
crowded talent room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talent with, you've still got Bijan Robinson, who's an absolute magnet, right? You still got
Mhm.
Kyle Pitts. I know he hasn't panned out since his rookie year, but he's still an absolute incredible talent that's just not being utilized to his abilities.
Yeah.
So then, and then I'm going back to some of the familiar names. So you've got, like I said, I didn't remember what number I'm at. So it was 5, 6, neighbors. So that was
As
8.
long as
Was
you're
that
not going to
8,
list off
9?
20, I'm not going to like
Nah,
fault you
yes.
for not stopping at 10, but get
Yeah.
the people out, cuz I like to hear all this stuff.
Yeah. So Brian Thomas, Drake London, I wrote him down, and then I'm like
Yeah.
waffling on him now. And then I would say rounding out the back of the list there is that Garrett Wilson. I mean, I think Terry McLaurin earns a little bit of,
Mhm.
like, if
Mhm.
not in the top 10, then definitely flirting with honorable mention. I mean, JSN is in there.
Yeah.
And I feel like DJ Moore, if he's not top 10, he's top 12. Like that's my
Yeah,
list, is how I would call that out there.
that's a good call, and and again, I'm going to try to be non-biased, but I
Why
still,
start
as a
now?
Bears fan, well, I know, but I still look at it as a Bears fan. I can't put DJ Moore cracking top 10. I think the Bears have, the Bears wide receiver room in general, especially last year, and hopefully this year, like as a room is probably one of the better rooms, but I don't think I can put DJ Moore in the top 10. And like he's more, I guess, more gadgety, like, and he's maybe a victim of his of his own, play style in that like he doesn't you don't see him running like wide receiver routes a lot. He runs those end arounds and he runs the flats and with the yak, where he gets all of his yards after catch, which is it is a good
It's a talent. It's a talent.
It's a talent for sure, but it's not like your typical prototypical wide receiver talent. And to me, that's what keeps him from like, like he's always going to do that stuff, which takes away from his ability to run normal routes. But he's still like, if you watch games, he still runs normal routes. Like he's like a Swiss Army knife. You can throw him in go routes. You can throw him in, like intermediate split the D routes. You can throw him in the end arounds. You could do all these things with him, but like he's like a jack of all trades, but master of none, I feel like. And so that's kind of what all keeps him. 12 feels right to me. It's like what always keeps him not top 10, but very close to it. So I'm with you on that one for sure.
If he's not back in borderline wide receiver one, he's top 12, top 15 minimum. So that's where I'd honestly put him.